Man, I truly do hate getting off late at work. One day I want to get off early. Then it's short, it won't be so short. So, have this quick little snack. And then head our way up there. Because this is Symbol. And by up there, gonna play pool for the boys. Pool with the boys. Down. But I just gotta be a quickie with it to get over here. On top of finishing this up brewski. Then we're down home. Rest the weary feet for a minute. And boom. Ugh. Why are the roads so goddamn busy tonight? I don't like the traffic. Makes it harder to drink my Arizona. I need that damn Arizona. So did this house get like rebuilt and now it's actually already being lived in or something? Damn, it looks like it. They really did such an excellent job on it too. Looks great. Man. So was I like the 6th or fucking 8th car? Goddamn. Man. Let me make sure I get my pool stick too. Might have fun with that. Rest the weary feet, grab the pool stick, play pool with the bros. Aye. Cause that's always the fun shit, but gotta actually get ourselves here to do it. That Dana Sleep Boy is gonna be so happy to see me for like 2 seconds. Alright, let's get to him. Really? Oh, stretchy boy. Oh my god. Put some thighs in there too, because I had a shitload of them. So, yeah. Anyway, ain't gonna be here for too long because obviously, going.
Back to work.
Well, I got off later and I was hoping, man, it was annoying. Like, one of them was already gonna head out early, which was fine, but I was kind of hoping my other dude would, like when I was from my last break, it didn't really like get everything like soaking and everything quite yet. They were just finishing that up. I'm like, why did y'all like not do that already by the time I show? Yeah, it was a little. Yeah, it knocked me back like 30 fucking minutes. So it was annoying. Dude. Yeah, here, do this as well. Because I also need to charge my fucking phone. My phone really needs to be charged. It is not at a high percentile right now. So I need to make sure it's at least charged enough to, go to the pub. Whoa. Same thing for these. Wow. And get this off so I can cool down. Suzu! Where'd you go? There you are. I want you going outside. Yeah, sleep on. You sleep on. I'll put that right there. There we go. Alright. Let's be here for a little bit. Hey, quit fucking with my hat. Don't fuck my hat, dog. What is you? You little boy. Look at you. Yeah.
Dude, I want that squirrel.
Oh, that fat chunk. Yeah, my buddy Mornax, you sent that to me the other day.
Who did?
Yeah, Mornax from the stream, and I was just like, dude, that is a fat chunk. Truly a fat chunk indeed.
So are you gonna drink those and then go down?
Well,
yeah. You drink those and then not even go.
Well, I'm fucking going. In fact, actually, I want to get my pool stick. A proper man has his pool stick.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It was
right next to his fire.
Kind of funny. I went in the bathroom and I'm like, I forgot his bill.
Oh, honestly, it's mainly because sometimes it kind of like bites into me because these fit fine without them. So, I mean, it's good for my other pants that are more looser and shit, but for this ones, these already fit pretty snug, so I don't really need them for these pair. So I just said fuck it and just took them off because it was kind of biting into me and it was kind of annoying trying to like unbuckle them, you know, like every time I need to take a bath. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just cut them off. And just have those on for pants that obviously need it.
It doesn't hurt anymore.
That's good. Looks like you got at least healed up most of the way.
No, because probably by tomorrow it'll be fucked up.
Hopefully not.
Oh.
That would suck.
Didn't tell you I'm getting a new ring.
A what?
I'm getting a new ring.
Ring or room?
Ring.
Oh, nice.
I'm actually getting my tungsten ring.
Cool.
No.
Why is it not? No. Why not cool? It's like a tungsten ring. I mean, what's wrong with that?
It's like a $300 ring.
Well, it's still cool, and obviously, you know, has personal value to you. Well, try to be supportive, and you're like, no,
I didn't have.
I reject this.
I didn't have to buy it because we actually paid $185 for it.
Well, yeah, that's even better. Got a better deal out of that.
No, JCPenney's was having a sale, so I bought Sarah's new ring, which was originally $629 and got it for $289.
Nice.
Like a $400 savings.
Nice. Ever so cool. I need to like honestly start getting some rings myself. I've been kind of wanting to do that a little bit.
You got one from me.
Well, yeah. I mean, now you're kind of making me, you know, potentially going on a trend. Oh, I'm gonna have to like on my way up to work, being like slowly but surely, like, all right, gotta take the tough one off first, then get the easy ones off, like on my way up as I'm walking up there.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the funny thing about the silicone one. You actually have to take it out.
Yeah, it's not that hard. Actually, it's like fit on my finger enough to where it actually, you know, it's really easy to just like slide right off.
It depends on hot and coldness too.
That's true, yeah, I've noticed that as well. Like, depending on, like, you know, how hot it is or how cool it is, it'll, you know, kind of differ. Alright, there we go. Getting some weed grounded up. Then we're gonna have a little bit more of this drink. Then hang out for a bit, a little more. Man. Gotta love, like, you gotta love, like, some nights, like tonight, where, at least, you know, for, my coworkers, it kind of, like, the little Loki kind of fucked me over tonight. I was just like, man, really? This is, like, the one time I want to straight up, like, try to get out early, and it's, like, literally the polar opposite, where it's like, no, not today. Okay. So that was just annoying. Like, I realized it was like a little after 9. I was like, fuck. And I was like, alright, rush this shit. And I start rushing. I realized I have like 4 more things to do left. And it's like already 9:40. I'm like, oh my god. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm just gonna, like, you know, make this a quickie. Use this as a way to kind of time frame myself, actually. And just charge my shit, because it needs to charge. And chug this shit, have a snackaronis, which I actually already have right here. I'm just gonna have this cookie because I can just get something up there. But then just use that as a way to, well, you know, just have a little fun and have a little vibe. But I just realized I basically only have like $100 bills. Oh fuck! Oh, man, I'm probably gonna have to get like a shitload of 10s and 5s. That's great. That's gonna be great. I need to load a fucking bowl before I smoke something. Jesus. What the fuck am I doing? Ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay. My goodness fucking gracious. Honestly, I have like a little odd suspicion that one of the homies is gonna be like, "Where the fuck are you?" I'm like, "Yo, read the chat, you know, from the group chat and shit." I'm like, you know, got off hell late, gotta, you know, fucking, you know, reset my vibe up a little bit. You know, have a little quick pregame, a little quick snack. Charge this fucking phone too. I didn't realize that my phone was so damn dead up until just like before I even started this. It's like, oh fuck, yeah, I might as well just do this and charge the phone because I at least have enough time for all that. And plus, it's already like went from like 40% to like 10+% just from then to now. So, at least, you know, make sure it's either like 30 minutes or how, like, at least, I don't know, fucking 40%. Yeah, let's get there then, I'll be okay. Man, it was a mistake fucking busting that booster up. Cause that shit's annoying. Shit be fucking annoying. Just looks like a fucking like crater basically. It's so annoying. Coke Bear. Soda Car Bear. Wait, what's going on with this? Something about black bears. Hold on, look at this. The Canucks. Black bear breaks into a vehicle, guzzles 69 cans of soda. Oh my god. Dude, bear was thirsty, man. He wanted some soda. He wanted some of that nectar of that, you know, sweet, sugary beverage, dude. That is some fucking sodas. What were they? It looks like they were straight up Coca-Cola. Damn, bro. There was Cocaine Bear, but now there's Soda Bear. Soda Bear, bro. Damn, dude. I love it. That's great. Oh, I also showed my friend, my roommate, that fat fuck squirrel that you showed me the other day on Discord. And oh my god, he wants it as a pet. It's like, I want that squirrel right now. At first I was like, what, as stew or as a pet? He's like, as a pet, you asshole. And I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know. I wasn't sure. Some people look at a squirrel think food, apparently. That Chungoid. Dude, that Chungoid, dude. That's honestly probably the king of Chunguses. Like, I don't think there's a squirrel that can ever get that fat outside of that squirrel. Like, that squirrel has, you know, is the king of being the fatty. The Chungoid, dude. Chungoid. Fucking love it. Oh, don't know if you've been like popping in and out and everything, but I was mentioning that won't be on here for like too long. I'll probably be back later, like in a few hours, but gonna be hanging out with the boys at the pub and shit. I'm using this time to literally just charge this fucking phone and, you know, get a pre-game in me so I don't have to spend that much money at the bar. So, got my pull stick ready to go, and why in the fuck is this like, oh, this should be right here, there we go. Yeah. Actually, let me see. Yeah, I got my chalk in here too. Which is actually the chalk that I kind of took from the bar. But hey, I need some chalk, you know? I have the exact same cue case. Really? Shit. Hold on, does it happen to be a similar pool cue? Here, let's see. I mean, here's mine. I mean, obviously it's, you know, broken down, but it's actually pretty light. I'm pretty sure this is a 19 ounce. Yeah, it's a 19 ouncer. Also, I found out that my the China chef at our that's like kind of like the boss of all like the, you know, for the China cases in our district. That guy apparently is a pool god. Apparently, like he has his own like, you know, biller, like pool cues, his own specialized professional billards, and has actually gone to like straight up like professional leagues and shit. And it's just like, bruh, it's like, man, he showed me a couple pictures. I'm like, god damn. It's like, oh, dude, that shit looks fucking fire fancy, dude. It's like, holy shit, what, like, man, they didn't think you beat a pool shark here there, Wayne. It's like, holy shit. Haven't used mine so long. I think mine is slightly different styling. Buddy used to be a hustler. Damn. Yeah, I know it's league night at the pub right now. So you know, in a way, I feel like we might not be able to win a table a little bit. So honestly, in a sense, me, you know, being a little delayed going to the pub, honestly, isn't totally a bad idea. Besides, not everyone's there yet. I know Rip City just showed up, like, not even that long ago. Basically around the time I got off work, actually. So, basically, like, 20 minutes ago, essentially. Maybe a little more than that. And then, my homeboy Harley, well, he was here for most of the day, but he left, like, just after he showed up. So, basically, just before, you know, I got off work. But obviously, I ain't gonna, you know, have him just, like, you know, be delayed. You know, I'll have him go up there. So, I mean, besides, like I said, my shit needs to charge for a minute. And I don't want to spend that much money. It's just, I mean, like the Wells Whiskey and Coke, like, for a tall used to be, like, I think $2 back in the day. Now it's $3. Like, when COVID happened, like, a couple years back, it went to, like, $2.50 for a little bit. And then they, you know, bumped it up to $3, and it's like, god damn it, you know, it's like, man, there ain't no way to get a cheap drink anymore. It's like, what the fuck? I mean, it's not like that bad, but still, it's just like, I don't know. But I'm, you know, such a local there, and the tenders know me enough, and, you know, they've worked there long enough and shit that, you know, that honestly, like, when they pour the whiskey, they pour, like, you know, for a regular glass being about that tall, like, half that fucking glass is whiskey. Like, half the time, I'm barely getting Coke. So, I mean, they you know, they treat me fair, you know, because I'm such a regular at the watering hole that, you know, like, I mean, you know, but, like, you know, if you're, like, someone who goes, you know, who's, like, a regular at, like, a local joint, you know, and, like, you know, always, you know, tip at least on a fairly regular basis, and don't cause trouble, you know, if anything, always chill, you know, and have casual conversation, blah, blah, blah. You know, the whole shebang, you know, your vibe's good, like, basically. You know, like, I mean, and the tenders recognize that, you know, they'll straight up treat you fair. And by that, I mean, they'll, like, kind of give you the hookup. Go to the bartender and you'll be on their good side. Exactly, yeah. I'll admit, there's only one bartender at that, at the bar that is kind of a little bit of a bitch. I mean, like, because if you don't tip, you know, a lot, like, let's say you're, like, keep the change, you know, for example, like, you're getting, like, some that's, like, $2.50, and you get, like, $1.50 back, and you say keep the change, she's not exactly gonna like that. She's like, nah, you keep the change. And it's like, okay, I mean, you know, what the fuck, you know, it's like, it'll be something like that, and if you don't tip, especially over and over again, she's gonna get pissed off type of thing, be like, why aren't you tipping me? Like, gets a little assertive about it, and it's just, and it's happened to me at least once or twice. It's happened to a few of my friends a couple times before, and it's just like, you know, honestly, sometimes you can't always tip. I mean, and frankly, I'll admit, I don't always, but I always at least try to tip a little something, something, you know, at least at the very end of the day. Even if it's only, like, once in the day, I mean, if that's all I can, you know, do, then, yeah, that's all I can do. But, I mean, because they should know me, you know, especially for her, they should know me enough that I do. Like 75% of the time that I'm there, like, I'm tipping. And the other 25%, I'm a little strapped, and I'm mostly probably there just to play some pool, or maybe, you know, that's about it, you know, just hang out with some friends and maybe have a drink or two. You know, but if I'm not strapped, I'll probably have that a drink or two be maybe like 3 or 4, and then, you know, play a lot of pool and maybe have some food or something, you know, like, yeah, I'll make a time out of it. Use tip dollar per drink, or about 20%. Yeah, I usually tip about $2. That's my, like, standard pretty much across the board of pretty much anything, really. Like, if I'm ordering some food at my, you know, at the burrito place I go to, like a burrito's about $11, I usually tip $2 there. Like, when it comes to the drive-in diner place I go to for, like, burgers and things like that, $2 there. You know, when it comes to the bar, $2, you know, per drink usually, if I can afford that, you know, and if not, I usually try to, like, tip every other drink or something like that. You know, like, so I usually try to make sure it's at least $2, and if it's, like, a really huge type of bill thing, like, I'll do a little more. Like, at the dispensary, I'll do, like, either $2 or, like, $3 or $4, depending. Wow, nice. Yeah. I mean, I usually try to make that a standard a little bit. I mean, at the bar, I'll probably do that maybe every other, you know, like, you know, because at least for a Wells whiskey, if it's like $3, usually I'm putting like $1.50 or something like that. And honestly, when it was $2.50, I just did another $2.50, just rounded it up to $5 or something like that. Just because honestly, it ain't that big of a deal to me, and I don't usually buy that many drinks in the first place anyway. So, it's never been, like, a huge concern. And also, even though I am a regular at the bar and stuff, I don't go there a lot, you know? It's like I go there maybe, like, every other week. I mean, I am a regular, and they definitely recognize me. And yes, you know, it's like, if anything, yeah, no wonder they like me. I probably tip more, you know, at least, you know, when I do, you know, more than, you know, other people usually do when they tip. Like, because other people are probably tipping, like, $1 or, like, $1.50 or, like, you know, or just, like, keep the change, or it's, like, 75 cents or something like that. Hard work in people's pocket. Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, it's, like, you gotta, like, you know, I recognize, you know, a lot of the hard work these bartenders do. Like, whenever, because when I'm playing pool and stuff, like, half the time when they're not serving people, those tenders are literally walking all over the place, wiping shit down, you know, grabbing people's empty drinks, you know, like, you know, make sure that, like, you know, people are having a go right time. It's like, hey, you need any food or something like that, you know, just because, you know, you're looking at a menu or something, you know, because they'll, like, be like, all right, here, I'll take your order here real quick. You're like, you know, kind of like you're at a restaurant almost, essentially. Like, at least at the bar that I go to, they legit work their ass off. So it's like, yeah, they, especially, like, you know, when it comes to any place that I think, you know, tipping, at least considering our tipping culture, should probably be a little bit more encouraged. It's definitely when it comes to, like, restaurants and bars. I mean, but it's just, you know, kind of sucks that, you know, they kind of have to rely on shit like that, sadly. Because, you know, with the work that they do, they shouldn't necessarily have to rely on that, but, you know, just all things considered, it's kind of how it unfortunately has to work, and, you know, I want to make sure that at least, you know, live a little happy and stuff, and, I mean, all things considered, you know, like, I kind of know a lot of half the shit that they do a little bit, because I hear their conversations, I chit-chat with them and shit, And it's not really too much different from a lot of stuff that I tend to be into. It's like, yeah, I like to go out and, maybe shoot some guns occasionally, I like to go out and camp, go hiking, blah, 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 just typical, like, Pacific Northwest shit, basically. Like, Cascadian redneck shit. Here. Let's see if there's like, maybe a fun little thing you could check out. Oh, actually, I did super chat Diamond because she was doing like a little live stream, like a little video game stream playing Cult of the Lamb. And I was kind of asking broadly like what her thoughts were on like labor and like unions overall and shit. And also about like, how I could reach out to maybe have a little chit chat about her on stuff like that. And she actually was like pretty open about like, yeah, cool, like just literally email me, and I'm like, yay. It seems like that, that actually would be pretty dope, because honestly, like, she eventually shared her thoughts because she ended up getting sidetracked with the game for a second, but she ended up saying it's like, yeah, like, I mean, all in all, like, she like actually kind of honestly pretty much has, outside of maybe a few things, has relatively the same position that I pretty much have. Like, at least in a long-term like level, when it comes to like the current systems, like units are kind of more of like a means to an end, so to speak, which is certainly agreeable for me. Even they kind of are. I don't necessarily think it's the end-all be-all when it comes to like labor advocacy for sure, but it's definitely like a foundation of how to get it going and get that in the mainstream sphere. And, because at least especially for me being a syndicalist, which actually she has some pretty interesting thoughts about that too a little bit. Like she, like was basically saying it's like, like in a lot of ways, especially with big ones, which includes my local too, that they can kind of get complacent because like they, in a way, see the necessity for unions to survive and obviously, kind of continue to exist and shit, especially when it comes to at least, protection of workers and shit. But because of that, a lot of the whole, like, represent the worker tends to get undermined because, they end up, trying to use the best means to keep themselves afloat, which, might honestly include talking with the bosses and getting a little bit more comfy with them and, buttering up with them and being a little corrupt in that sense. Basically being toothless. And got no claws and shit like that, which I most certainly definitely got disagreements with as well. And she's also somebody that has fundamental disagreements about things like police unions, which I most certainly do. I wouldn't necessarily be so against the concept if there was like a city council based like elective procedure for like a citizens oversight board where civilians represented by the community that the police department's representing, or at least the local police unions representing for these local departments are also at least a part of like some sort of a separate oversight where they can kind of watch over them and put a check into them. I'd actually be alright with police unions if that could be implemented, but I don't think that's gonna happen, so fuck them. But I mean, I'd be okay if they're able to be refounded, like broken apart as they are now, and refounded with that in mind, because they might honestly at least have better check and balance. Because if you have civilian oversight from the people that they're supposed to serve and protect, so to speak, then, chances are it's going to be less likely for them to get away with brutalizing and oppressing different minorities and, these different communities and, extorting them and treating it like a fucking racket and the whole shebang. Like, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that it goes away entirely, but it does help at least put another check into a balance, into that, imbalance of power. Because especially police unions, they, are at least one of the reasons why police have such an overwhelming use of power. because they understand the broader labor solidarity, you know, that made the police union for what it is, but they only have it for themselves and for the system. They don't extend that to the rest of labor and to the rest of the people that they're, if anything, oppressing, because, you know, how they do it is built around oppressing, or at least trying to suppress, you know, the more radical bents of those type of tactics. Zukov, what the fuck? Are you agreeing with me? Here. Yeah, probably not. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like, you know, like, there's such an advocacy for, especially like in Portland lately. I'm honestly noticing the subreddit on Portland, like, on the Portland subreddit, I even noticed there, because you know how there's a lot of NIMBY libs and conservative types that astroturf that place a lot? But honestly, like, I even noticed there that, like, you know, the idea of at least, you know, like, destructuring, you know, the current police forces and law enforcement just broadly, including their unions and shit, and having a more total restructure about what law enforcement is. I at least think broadly, you know, a lot of the local constituencies in these, you know, cities and counties and shit are starting to kind of be aware that, like, yeah, that we need to totally restructure this entire system of what law enforcement is, because, you know, here in America, it ain't working. Yeah, so, you know, like, at least if it comes to the people, especially who are pro-labor, you know, like, when it comes to, like, police unions, if they're, you know, willing to say, yeah, I'm okay with it, because of at least, you know, the whole idea of, like, collective bargain and blah, 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 which, again, I understand, like, you know, that's why I'm never super entirely against the concept of, you know, a union in that sense, but it needs to have, you know, different, you know, checks and balances in a sense, you know, in that organization in comparison to a traditional union because of the power they hold. At least, you know, to the, you know, work that the, you know, that the workers are, you know, doing when it comes to the representation, because they're meant to be law enforcers and, like, you know, shit like that, and that it represents a different element of power than, you know, like a mill worker. You know, it's like a mill worker ain't, you know, doing law enforcement and shit. You know, that's a totally different ball game. So it's like there needs to be a totally different set of rules, you know, when it comes to that representation. Honestly, there was like some crazy shit that, what was it? It was, I think it was literally due to, what the fuck was it? I think it was the, like, the kid, was it the, oh no, it was like this, sheriff that got caught. I saw this on the Humanist Report. It was uploaded earlier today. It was, let's see, here, just might check it out a little later. Yeah, Oklahoma officials caught literally, like honestly, this, I shit you not, this is what's going, like, this is what they were doing. They were caught plotting, trying to want to murder journalists and shit, and they were also literally just, like, being overtly racist, saying, like, yeah, we should just, like, basically bring back lynchings and shit. They weren't literally saying that, but they might as well have been saying that. And, like, the defense that the police had for that was like, we understand that this idea that, like, you know, one could, you know, like, you know, two-party consent laws in place, and we're trying to investigate the mole that, like, released this information, and it's not, you know, conjecture to what was actually, you know, in the transcripts and blah, 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 and literally deflected in every way possible to literally not admit, like, that shit. It was just like, what the fuck is this? You know what, here, we'll just check it out real quick. Fuck it. We'll make this like the one thing we'll look at here really quick. Then obviously in a couple hours we'll come back. Because this shit just, like, threw me for a goddamn loop. In fact, here, we'll actually kind of speed up just a baby smidge. Just a baby smidge. There we go.
That took place on March 6th in McCurtain County, Oklahoma, following a Board of Commissioners meeting, and it featured several prominent local officials, including
Jesus Christ, maybe I don't need to. I can still understand.
County Sheriff Kevin Clardy, his investigator, and multiple commissioners. Now,
so basically, literally, a sheriff, they're, like, one of their, like, you know, head investigators and shit, and a bunch of, like, commissioners. It's just like, so this is a whole, like, collaborative, like, orchestrated thing with multiple people.
Newspaper, the McCurtain Gazette News, broke the story, and they released a transcript of the conversation, but now we're getting the audio. Now, in the audio that you're about to listen to, they incriminate themselves, and to say that what they say is unhinged really would be an understatement. Not only do they allegedly plot the literal assassination of local journalists, but they also talk about their desire to assault and murder black people. It is genuine.
Honestly, just putting it lightly, I mean, if you want to be blunt about it, it's basically just full-on lynching status with, with what they were advocating for. You'll hear.
And when you get more context after we listen to it, you'll understand how sociopathic these individuals are.
I'll turn it up when it comes up.
We're going to listen to a portion of the audio now, but before we do, just a content warning, obviously, you're going to hear very violent racist rhetoric that is deeply disturbing. But without further ado, here's what they said.
It was back in the day when without Marshall take a damn blanket.
But they let be able to back it. Oh my god. Okay, holy shit. We're not doing that. Okay, we're putting it back to normal. Oh my fucking god. You fucking inbred hick fuck, dude. That accent, dude. Holy shit. That is like the most hick accent I've ever heard in a while. I forgot it was that hick. Holy shit.
Deeply disturbing. But without further ado, here's what they said.
It was back in the day when Alan Marshall take a damn blanket, whoop their ass and throw them in the cell. I'd run the fucking sheriff. Yeah. Well, it's not
back in the day, you could literally, take a black man, whoop his ass, and throw him in the cell, not have to give a fuck. I run for that type of era, I tell you what, or some shit. Something like that.
I know. We're taking that on Mud Creek and hang them up with the damn rope. Yeah.
Did he say, Mud Cretin or Mud Creep? Either way, racist as fuck. But of course, I mean, this guy is literally the most hick fuck. And he's a sheriff. He was literally elected into power. But, oh, hey, Justin Jones and Pearson, they can get expelled, for literally just expressing the First Amendment rights, as lawmakers. But, oh no, this guy, he can literally, revel in the idea of lynchings and just be like, yeah, we're gonna expel this guy.
But you can't do that. They got more rights than we got.
More rights than we got. He's saying, black people got more rights than white people. Which is not even remotely close to being true. Utterly retarded. There's, anti-discrimination laws to try to, maximize, the laws and their rights, to be as egalitarian as possible. But even then, plenty of elements of our system, are still, decked against, black people broadly. So, no, they don't necessarily. Not just, when it comes to the equal white factor. Not even, not even, they got more rights than us. I mean, if that's the case, can you name any of those rights? Because I guarantee you couldn't there, you weird-ass, hick-ass fuck.
Don't know, they...
And that's the thing, 20 years ago, I would have done something like that. 20 years ago, I wouldn't have lived in this position.
They're insignificant in my life.
Yes.
Really. They bring...
Well, so are you random bitch. I think that's the, investigator lady.
It will. I told you it will. Yeah. I know where two big deep holes are if you ever need them. I got an excavator. These are already pre-dug. But the thing of it is,
We actually told the truth.
I've known 2 or 3 hit men that were very quiet guys.
Yeah.
And would cut no fucking mercy.
Yeah.
In Louisiana.
That's the investigator. She's just we cut these people no mercy and shit, and, I think at this point they're talking about the journalists. Which is them being let's just whack them.
It's all mafia around
Yeah, but here's the reality. If a hair on his wife's head, Priscilla Hill's head, or any of those people that really were behind all that, if the hair on their head got touched by anybody, who would be the guy?
Who'd you blame for?
Yeah.
On the bark body, we wrap it up in tinfoil to preserve the body and stuff like that, and then we get all the body parts and stuff like that. And Kyla was out there.
Hey!
All the body parts. Oh, she come apart? Yeah. Just the bark body's just I picked up. And,
they really fall apart when they're hurt?
Yeah. And you never had barbecue? That's another.
Yeah.
Same.
I'm hungry.
Kyla,
Are they referring to somebody being burnt to death and talking about how that's like a barbecue? Because I'm pretty sure that's what they're talking about, and they're literally joking about that. These people are literally fucking sociopathic. Even the investigator bitch is just like, okay, this is a little crazy.
Guy's glasses on. Got to wrap his hands full of the body bag, kind of going, you know what we got to do now, right? My wife goes, no, what? She goes, she got to preheat the oven 350 degrees, leave her in there for 15 minutes, and she went,
Leave her in an oven for, wait, yeah, so they are talking about someone being burnt to death, I think. Oh my fucking god, dude. No, that's not just cool, that's insane. They could be shoved in the iron bowl, you know what I mean? The brass bowl, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Now, a lot of what they said doesn't really make sense because we don't have the full context, but when you learn about what they're talking about, it gets so much worse. So that last conversation about barbecue referenced a woman who died in a house fire, and she went back in to save her dogs. That's when she died. That's what they're joking about there.
So that's like basically the broader context of that, and wow, so they were. You want to hear their fucking crazy statement? Here, we'll skip to that. But like, dude, the fucking statement is even more retarded, because they were like, oh yeah, this, you know, all that shit. Well, never mind the fact we were talking about that. I know, so Rexy was mentioning that. Of course, I mentioned that earlier. Of course they're going to say something about that. Yeah, I had to make sure my shit charged and all that, okay? I'm gonna talk about this, then I'll fucking go over there. But
the entire thing, because it is that good. Quote, the last 72 hours have been amongst the most difficult and disruptive in recent memory. This is a very complex situation, and one we regret having to address.
You know, a complex situation where a plot assassination of journalists, talking about alleged black people, and literally joking about people being burnt to death, trying to save their dogs, which, oh my god, if I found out that police might do that with my dead body, then I would literally have them. Like, I would be like, yeah, avenge me if the police do this. Like, don't let that, be in vain.
There is and has been an ongoing investigation into multiple significant violations of the Oklahoma Security of Communications Act, Title 13, Chapters 176.3 and 176.4, which states that it is illegal to secretly record a conversation in which you are not involved and do not have the consent of at least one of the involved parties. They're really burying the lead here to talk about how illegal it is to record them. But anyways, they continue. There is a significant number of victims of this criminal activity, and it has taken significant effort and time to identify them and corroborate evidence. Many of these... Oh
yeah, but let's not corroborate the evidence of them, talk about lynchings, plot assassinations, or assassination plots, and fucking joking about, in a very visceral, brutal way, like people being burnt to death. And look, I've seen what the fuck that looks like. It is fucking brutal. It is horrifying. And the idea of just like joking and laughing, it's like, I'm hungry, it's like a barbecue, yeah, yo! It's like, that is viscerally insane. I mean, it's like, sure, can be an analogous description, I will admit that, but fuck, dude, I mean, you have to be insane to be, like, joking and laughing and being like, I'm hungry about that shit. Like, you are fucking insane for that shit. Like, frankly, I didn't really mean to find shit like that, but hey, there's more curiosity happens occasionally. But, like, holy fuck. That is crazy. And honestly, I mean, that's why, at least I guess with my morbid curiosity, I mean, every now and then you can, some of those, like, platforms will actually have an ability to have, like, comments and shit. Dude, there are some motherfuckers that literally are, like, gleeful or happy or, enjoy shit like that. It's like, holy fuck, dude, these people are, like, psychotic. It's like... And the fact that some of them are elected officials means that they aren't on watch lists, basically. They're, like, allowed to basically hold public office and have authority and have these type of ideas and, type of, mentalities and pleasures and shit. It's like, holy fuck, dude. What the fuck? Like, I know there's a whole joke of, like, yo, we're on a watch list because you say something crazy, but, like, honestly, are you even? If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, if you got these fuckers, you know, who are literally in power and in government, you know, it's just like, it's like, why aren't they on a watch list? Why aren't they being investigated? Which actually, from what I understand, because of this, the FBI is actually investigating them now. So the federal gov is like, wait a minute, holy fuck. You know, so the feds are actually kind of looking into it at least, you know, albeit, but like the fact that this was allowed in the first place and this is, you know, actual normal fucking behavior in a lot of different fucking places is kind of fucking freaky.
Like the one
I mean, it is kind of funny, especially if their statement all in all, but it's still kind of scary underlying, you know, to think about.
Media outlets on Friday have yet to be duly authenticated or validated. Our preliminary information indicates that the media-released audio recording has, in fact, been altered. Wonder if they're going to say how.
No, literally wasn't.
Oh, spoiler alert, they're not going to. The motivation for doing so remains unclear at this point. Really? Really? The motivation is unclear?
Motivation unclear, bro.
That matter is actively being investigated. In addition to being illegally obtained, the audio does not match the transcription of that audio and is not precisely consistent with what has been put into print. Multiple agencies are assisting in this ongoing investigation. As a result of the press release that went out on Friday, a large number of threats of violence, including death threats, have been made against county employees and officials, their families, and friends. There will be continued press releases from this agency as the investigation comes to a close and findings are forwarded to the appropriate authorities for felony charges to be filed on those involved. Okay, my initial response to that is,
damn, boom. I mean, honestly, like, especially for that last part, they're like, we've got death threats. It's like, cry me a fucking river. You're inciting stochastic terrorism, plotting assassinations, and advocating for fucking lynchings. Like, go fuck yourself. I mean, it's the same, like, sympathy I have for Matt Walsh, where it's like, it's anti-sympathy. It's like, no, go fuck off. Like, I mean, it's like, it's absurd. I mean, you know, like, and that's really the main juice of that, because it's just like, holy fuck, man. Like, how in the fuck are they that up to? This is why people are, like, so against police and so against law enforcement at this point. Because, like, this is, like, and at worst, that's how they fucking think and act. And at best, they're just complicit with with that, basically. You know, with the corrupt bullshit, you know, that enables that type of behavior. And it's just like, what the fuck? Why, you know, like, even after all this shit in this country that, you know, when it comes to, like, social justice on this, with those fucking protests, I mean, honestly, if there's, like, one thing that I kind of feel a little butthurt about those, you know, with the Floyd protests, is that not enough fucking changed from that. Like, I mean, especially, like, you know, like, with places like Portland and Minneapolis, it's just, like, what the fuck really, like, you know, was able to, like, fundamentally change from it, man? It's like, what the fuck? It's like, why is shit, like, basically now, like, ramping up again with these same fucking problems? Now that, like, people are, like, what, complicit with it again? It's like, what the fuck, dude? It really does kind of piss me off. It's just like, after all that shit, after all the things that, you know, people, you know, went through, especially when it came to, like, physical, mental, and emotional, you know, damage from that shit, you know, and, like, the fucking persistence of it, it's like, what the fuck, man? Shows the power of, like, you know, the fucking police and this shit. Especially in Portland. Like, oh my god, it's so fucking ridiculous here. I'm so sick of it. The PBB just shouldn't exist anymore as a fucking institution. We actually kind of, you know, to bring back to circle with the Portland subreddit part, like, I mean, like, there was a lot of, you know, various different opinions that actually kind of got, like, upvoted very significantly and being like, yeah, like, the PPB should be abolished and replaced with, you know, with more of a prioritization towards, like, social work when it comes to law enforcement, more so than not. And this is despite a lot of the astroturfing and a lot of the NIMBY shit. It's like, bam. You know, it's like, I mean, honestly, I mean, if there is at least a little hope, I think people are legit really starting to actually be like, you know what? Like, something seriously has got to fucking give, and I'd rather that shit give than, you know, my shit. because it's, I mean, I think a lot of people do especially feel like how I do when it comes to those things, where not much, really, like, progressed, when it came to those, especially with a lot of those protests, especially with how significant it was. Like, there was a lot of international support for it, too, especially right off the bat. Like, I remember protests being, like, fucking Paris, London, shit, places even, like, countries like in Latvia and shit. It's like, damn. But I'll be back in a couple hours and all that fun shit. Can play baseball. And I have my Arizona, as I go up there. Wink, wink. But anyway. Probably gonna be back later tonight, so peace out. See y'all.